Welcome back to my channel, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Today's video is going to be a product review on the CVLife 6-9 bipod mounted on my Bergara 300 Win Mag. I'm not going to do a review on this rifle just yet. I'll take this off shortly and then we'll dive down and we'll take a look at it. Alright, so this is how it looks like by itself. Again, this is the CVLife 6-9 inch rifle bipod. I did pay this with my own money. This is a budget-friendly bipod. You can pick it up for about 20 bucks, I believe. What it comes in the box is just the bipod itself, and it also comes with the Picatinny rail adapter here. So if you have an AR-15, you can, or any Picatinny rail, you can attach the bipod onto the adapter. It's kind of nice that they include this in the package. They make two different colors. This is the flat dark earth version, and then there's the black version as well. Initial impressions on this is that they basically just spray painted everything to a flat dark earth / tan color. You can kind of see imperfections here and there, but you can't expect much from a $20 bipod. According to CVLife, this is hardened steel and aluminum. I don't know which parts is hardened steel and what parts are aluminum. I can tell you that the feet here, they're rubberized. The total weight on this is 10 ounces, so it's relatively pretty light. And one last thing, this is constructed of 70-75 aluminum, which is a pretty strong aluminum. How to mount it, basically, when you get it out of the box, it'll look like this, and then it has a little plastic piece in the middle here holding these two little ears. You're going to unscrew the bottom here to take that out. We're just going to pretend this is the bottom of the rifle with a rifle sling stud. This is how it's going to mount. You're going to stick these little ears up through the hole and attach it through these holes here on the rifle sling stud. Fit it in there, and then on the bottom here you're just going to screw it. Keep screwing it in, and you're going to hit the bottom of the bipod right there. And once you tighten this down, the claws will grab onto the rifle sling stud and it'll tighten down. And that's how you would mount it onto your rifle with a sling stud. This is a foldable bipod, meaning that you can fold it up into, say if you don't want to use it while hunting or bench shooting, you can just fold it up like this. The springs are relatively pretty tough, as you can see here. Construction looks pretty nice. Very similar to a Harris bipod. I've owned Harris's in the past, and this design is basically a copy of the Harris bipod. I'm not sure about the material that they used, but design wise everything looks identical. One thing to note on the spray painted version here is that it does leave a coating on the threads here, so when you go and thread this in, you're going to notice paint peeling off of the threads, which is no big deal. Kind of figured that they did spray paint it, and anything spray painted will eventually rub off. Another thing on this is that once you put it on the rifle sling stud, you lose your sling stud on the rifle, but on the bipod here, it does have a hole here to attach your sling to this point right here. Like I mentioned, the springs do seem to be pretty sturdy, so this is in the up position, and say if you're ready to shoot, you kind of just flip them down, and they do sling down pretty hard, so we got to be careful on that. Going back to fit and finish, like this right there, it's tripping this down here where the screw meets the body of the bipod. That is starting to chip away. And for you to deploy the legs here, it's pretty simple. Basically, there's a button on each side. You push that, and it shoots out. And this here will be at 9 inches. Fully extended. It does have a little bit of play in there. This is fully extended on both sides. And I believe it has 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 levels of adjustments. This is fully extended, and then for you to adjust the height, depending on how level you want it or the ground clearance that you're shooting on, you just push this button and it'll just slide in. So there's the first detent, second detent, third detent, fourth detent, and the fifth one is the final locking point. Let's talk about the bottom of the legs here. This is a rubberized material. It's a little cheaper looking than the Harris bipods that I've seen. You can see mold marks like right there. There's a mold mark right there and a mold mark right there. Again, you're not paying a lot for this, so you can't really expect much. But so far that I've used it, everything seems to be working fine on my 300 Win Mag. I believe you can change these little legs out for the pointy ends, so if you're shooting on a softer ground, you can stick this into the ground and preload your bipod and have a stable shooting platform. One thing I forgot to mention, that it does come with these little rubber pads here. When I mounted it initially, these started to slide around, so I had to take some super glue and I super glued the bottom of it to stay put into place. So that's another con, I guess. We're going to mount it onto my 300 Win Mag here, and we're going to do a flex test to see how well this does. So we got it mounted on the Bergara here. If you look in the front here, I'm not sure if you're able to see, but the design of the bipod is kind of oval, and the forend on the Bergara is flat, so this is not going to sit flush. But then again, that's where those little rubber pads come into play here, so it'll kind of sit flush there for you. Tighten it down here for you guys just to see how much flex this can give. Alright, so this here is not extended. I'm just going to put my hand here just to pretend that there's a barricade here, but it seems to have a little bit of play where the sling stud mount is. The screw is tight, don't get me wrong, but there's a tad bit wobble there. I'll be taking this out to the range here. Hopefully in the next week when the weather warms up, I'm going to do a shooting video just to see how well this bipod does hold up to the 300 Win Mag. But we're going to extend it up to 9 inches and we're going to see how much flex it has. So that there is fully extended. And I did retighten this, so that did help the play in between here. So tighten that up really good, and I'm preloading it as to how I would be shooting, and it's not moving, so which is good. Let's move it down to the first level. Again, seems pretty sturdy. Then all the way down. Alright, so what are my initial impressions on this budget bipod? So far everything seems to be good. I've only mounted it onto my rifle. I have not tested this out yet, but leaving it on the rifle and playing around with it and preloading it, and everything seems to be holding up pretty good. Like I said, the only issue I had was these little pads here. They did peel off, so I had to take some super glue to it, and just a few imperfections on the paint. But then again, it is spray painted, so it's not Cerakoted or it's not powder coated. You're not going to get that durability on the paint, unfortunately. But from all the reviews that I read on this bipod, by the way, this is an Amazon special, I believe. CVLife again makes this. I'll leave a link in the description box below for you guys to check it out. I don't make any money off of this bipod. It's just something I wanted to try out, and this is the #1 selling bipod on Amazon. I think over 2,000 reviews. It's 4.5 stars. Of course, you're gonna get a few bad reviews. That's just not with this. This is with everything. That's how the world works. The majority of the reviews is that this is a really good bipod for the money. Some people actually say that it's even better than the Harris because it costs about 1/10 of the price. If anyone has this bipod and has used it, leave it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Again, I haven't shot this yet, so only time will tell on how well this bipod will hold up. It seems like the general consensus is that this is good for the money and it's good to go. Like I said, of course, it's not your Harris, it's not your Atlas, it's not your Accutech, it's not anything of the higher end bipods out there. But hey, there's people in this world that are on a budget, and that's the reason why people make these, for those people to save a few bucks, and I'm one of them. But that's all I have for you guys, and until next time, be safe everyone.